Hey guys, what's up? I am Papi Padilla. Welcome to the studio, especially if it's your first time. Alright boys, back to business. We're going to go ahead and do the Prestige Cup today in this beautiful LB M3. Now this looks a lot like Amelia's M4. I think it's an awesome car, but let's go ahead and get started. For those of you who are new to the game and just downloaded CSR, look at all of these goodies that you can actually win. Now, whenever you first begin or first start this game, you may not be able to finish the Prestige Cup, but give it a shot, man. And by being in a crew, that also helps out a lot too. So, but let's get to this Prestige Cup. Typically, on every Prestige Cup, I give you some fun facts about the car manufacturer. I do one race, and then after that, we begin. BMW was founded in 1916 during the World War I. And whenever they came up with the company, they had one thing and one thing only in mind, to make airplane engines. So whenever they first began, they weren't even thinking about cars or anything like that. They did household items, hold on. Their big one was airplane engines, but they also had, they made engines for trucks and buses and household items and things of that nature. And they were really, really good. I mean, the planes were really good. I think they were really popular for high altitude and fuel efficiency. And that was a good thing, especially during the war. But then after the war was over, this is World War I, the Treaty of Versailles, they basically said that, hey, you can no longer make these airplanes, man. You just can't make the engines for them anymore. They're too good. We got wiped out. You just can't do it anymore. So at that point, the world was basically saying, bruh, your planes are way too good, you gotta stop it. And that's whenever they had to be innovative and they had to come up with something else. And that's when they started with motorcycles first, and then they eventually moved into yeah, I know it was motorcycles first, but I forgot the year. Then they started making automobiles. And after they made the automobiles, it just kind of took off from there. So I thought that was kind of cool that they don't just make cars. They made all kinds of cool stuff back in the day. You know what? I'm probably gonna have to get some gas because I don't want them to tell me to watch videos. Let me do that. Alright. Now we're all good. We have enough gas to last us till the end. Assuming that we don't lose any races. But I think we'll be in good shape, fellas. I think we'll be in good shape. Now the next section is the logo, man. I love talking about the logo because it's so neat, man. It really is, because the logo, if you look at it, it's blue and white, and it's kind of like it has a crosshair on it, right? And this is up for debate, but I'll tell you about it. So if you really look at it, some people say that it's a propeller, a spinning propeller. See, if you look at it, look at that. You see how it kind of looks like a spinning propeller with the blue just kind of just breezing through the white breezing through the blue like it's a spinning propeller. I think it's a propeller. Some people say that no, it's just supposed to represent the Bavarian flag, which is where they're from. Because the Bavarian flag has the same tint of blue and the same white. And I think it's both, man, because I think that BMW stuck to their roots. And they're like, hey, man, we used to make really good airplanes. We can't make them anymore. And so we're going to come up with a cool logo. I think it's both part Bavarian flag and both part propeller as well. Where we at? Lapping them gums, son. Where are we at? Okay, so we did all the purples. Okay, we're at race 11. That's it's not that bad. Still got a few more things to go. A few more races to go. But I love this car, man. I love all the LBs in this particular game. Now I want you to pay attention on the next roll-up. Whenever we begin the next race, I want you to take a look at the grille. Now this is the coolest part about the car, I think, because a BMW can be recognized from a mile away. Look at the two grills. That's what you call a kidney grill. They have a patent on it. They've been using the kidney grill since the 1930s, man. I was like, what? There is no other car manufacturer out there to where you can recognize the car just by looking at the grille, other than BMW. Because I like to watch drifters and drift cars, and a lot of them use the M3 and M4s, and people use these cars to drift. Sometimes all the logos have been removed, and they have these body kits, and they look dope, man. And you can really tell which is the BMW just by looking at the grille. It looks like two nostrils. Looks like two nostrils right there on the nose of the car. It's so dope. I like that feature of the BMW because you can spot a BMW from a mile away just by looking at the grille. Now these boys were the first ones to kind of experiment with aerodynamics. I know that back in the day the cars were big and clunky, and how they did that is, if you ever notice, all BMWs, they have a very, very short trunk, right? And what they did was they chopped the back off by 50%. They just chopped off half of the trunk. And what they found out is by doing that, by cutting the trunk off in half, it increases the straight line speed by 30%. So now there's a lot of companies that have that shorter type trunk where they just move the space more so towards the back seat to where you can still get a big trunk. But these were the guys that kind of invented that. So in 1976, BMW got together with Lamborghini, right? Oh, hold on. Before we talk about that, the 21,000. So fellas, if you just downloaded the game, the RP is very important, the respect points. Very important to get, especially if you're in a crew. You're gonna have to get a minimum. At the end of this bad boy, you can get 300,000. You get small chunks in the beginning, like 7 and 9. We just got, what, 23, or was it 12? I don't know. But you get little chunks in the beginning, and that final race, if you add everything up, that final race is 180,000 RP points. If you add them all up, it's about 300,000 RP points at the end of the Prestige Cup. So if you do join a crew, they're going to ask you to make a minimum. This is a good way to make that minimum. Or at least get closer to the minimum, because a lot of minimums are at least 600 and higher. All right, back to business. So I was speaking about the Lamborghini and BMW. So BMW and Lamborghini got together, I think it was in 1976. They got together and they said, hey man, let's make a car together. Let's make a car. So BMW was responsible for the engine and the suspension. While Lamborghini was going to make everything else, the body, the brakes, everything else that you need to make a car, manufacture a car. So as it got underway, at the last minute, Lamborghini backed out of it and said, nah man, we're not going to do this. BMW was really dedicated. They said, no, man, we really want to do this, so we're going to do this. I hired someone else to kind of finish up the project, and that's whenever the BMW M1. So if you Google BMW M1, you'll see that was BMW's first supercar. And it was all inspired because they were trying to make a car with Lamborghini. I actually like that car, and I think if CSR ever comes with another set of Legends, man, I think they should bring that M1 car to Legends. That would be cool to get a junked up Legend car, M1, fix it up, and hopefully you can do some elite points on it. Where are we at the moment? 23. Wow. We are just moving right along, son. Woo! Alright, so everybody knows that Mini, the company Mini, car manufacturer Mini and Rolls-Royce, they were both founded in the United Kingdom, UK. So they're cool British makes, right? I like those cars. But BMW actually picked up both of them. They own both of those companies. Now, even though BMW is a German company, they still let the Mini Cooper and Mini and on all the Mini models keep that kind of British heritage behind it. This is the reason why you see This is why you still see the British flag on the top of some of the Minis, depending on what paint job and what style you get. But they let them keep that, and I think that's pretty cool, because even though they own the company, they're not trying to steal those roots and anything like that. And I thought that was pretty neat of them. I was like, man, that's cool. And I actually like Mini. And that's the reason why people say, oh, a Mini is a BMW. It's owned by BMW, And BMW, you know, they manufacture them, but it's still a Mini. It's still, you can still get those paint jobs with the British flag on it. So I thought that was pretty neat. And there's a ton of celebrities that own a BMW because they're relatively not that expensive, depending on what model you get. But you can get a BMW for fairly cheap. So I know that there's other countries that kind of tune in, but there is a rivalry between Ford and Chevy. Like everybody, well, everyone here knows that. But there's also a rivalry between BMW and Mercedes. Now Mercedes almost bought out. So BMW almost became Mercedes in the 1950s. It was 1959. And I tell you, they kept on fighting and fighting and fighting. They almost made it happen. They started buying all the shares. And then before you know it, the mechanics, the office workers, anyone that had a little extra money started buying the shares back, to where BMW kept the majority. And so it would have been a different story if that didn't happen. And this is why I say that Mercedes and BMW, to me, they look similar, man. Oh, that's a stage 6 part. I don't think I need it though. But I think Mercedes-Benz and the BMW, they have very similar features. To me, they almost look alike. I can't even determine them in my garages and CSR. I have to look for the kidney grill. I think we're at the end. I got 1 cube of gas. Was that 29? Yeah, this is the last race, fellas. And I'm gonna explain to you why we do this. Because while I was giving you the fun facts, I know that we were racking up keys and gold and RP points. That was kind of close. Oh man, so let me tell you this big chunk. Come on, just watch. It's a big old chunk of RP points, respect points. That's what RP stands for. 180,000, son. This is the reason why we do it. So if you can finish it, I highly recommend it. And that was your Prestige Cup, my friends. I hope you enjoyed the fun facts. I enjoy, giving them to you guys. And in less than 2 days, the Fast and Furious, you can finally get Brian's Supra. I'm going to have a lock-in video, all 5 lock-in cars coming up soon. But that's the update. In 2 days, in less than 2 days, that third and final Fast and Furious event is about to happen. But hey, if there's anything about this video that you like, feel free to smash that like button. And you should consider subscribing, especially if you like the content and you keep coming back for more. I appreciate all the recent subscribers. I appreciate you watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.